Hello, my amazing artists. Today we are going to be using the style of embroidery called Bargello. Say it with me, Bargello. What a fun word. Which means it's a style of embroidery where you use long stitches to make geometric patterns. We're gonna make our own little pixel design. Let's get started. Okay, to start my pixel plastic canvas design, I am going to use this worksheet to help me plan out what I'm going to sew on to my plastic canvas square here. So I think I'm going to go kind of like this heart design. So what you're going to do is go ahead and color in where you want each color and kind of where you want your design to be. We're gonna just plan out before we start sewing what we want our design to look like. Okay, so I have my design colored here, planned out how I want my canvas to look. So I went and got yarn that matched the colors that I wanted to use. It's a good idea to use about 2 to 4 colors. If you use any more than that, it's going to be tricky to change colors so many times on our small piece of plastic canvas. So 2 to 4 colors in your design. So now I'm all set. I'm going to start with my blue background of my. Now we're going to cut our piece of yarn to start. Remember, you need about 1 wingspan of yarn. So I've got my background yarn here, and we'll go ahead and thread our needle. So we have our needle, our mini Ned, and our hot dog bun here. We're going to lay the yarn into the hot dog bun. Make sure that the end of the yarn is not hanging out. And go ahead and thread our needle. Okay, now we're ready to start. Now here's something you need to know. This project uses art math. Okay, art math, not regular math, art math. Art math is where 1 equals 3. Yep, you heard that right. 1 is going to equal 3. So 1 square here is going to equal 3 squares on our plastic canvas. So here's how we're going to start. We're going to pop up through our plastic canvas, pull, 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 and we're going to leave a tail. This is about a good amount here. I just have a little tail here. And we're going to end up sewing around, and we're going to keep that tail down. So don't worry about it. We don't need to tie a knot. We don't need a tape. We're going to end up sewing around it. All right, so you'll see here, I come in this hole, and remember we're using art math. Art math, 1 equals 3. So we have 1, 2, 3. We're going to dive back down. Okay, that is our first stitch. So on my design, the first row, they are all the same length. There's all the same color, excuse me. So we're going to pop up on the same side that we started with. So it was at the top. We're going to pop up through here, pull tight. Okay, now the yarn has wrapped around on the back to kind of hold that end down. Okay, 1 thing on our pixel chart equals 3 on here. So 1, 2, 3. We're going to go back down, through, pull tight. Okay. We're going to pop up at the top just like we did for the other stitches. Pull tight. And 1 equals 3. So we got 1 hole, 2, 3. Pull tight. Pop up the hole that the top hole. We have the hole we came up in. 1, 2, 3. Pop back down. Pull tight. One more time. We're starting at the top. Pop through. Pull tight. We have 1, 2, 3. We're going to dive back down. All right, now we've got a lot of stitches here. You'll see that the yarn tail has been sewn over and is tucked in there. We don't need to do anything about it. I'm going to keep going and sewing this top row, remembering 1 square on my pixel sheet equals 3 squares on the plastic canvas. Okay, so I came to the end of the row here. Now I'm going to need Let's go back to my design here. I will need to do a couple of blues here. Blue, 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 blue. So I don't need to cut my yarn at the end of this. I can just go ahead and hop down to the next row. So each row is going to be 3 squares. We're going to share this hole as one of our squares. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to pop up here, the bottom this time. So I popped up and I'm going to go 1. So the hole I popped up is 1, 2, back down through 3. That's going to create my stitch there. Okay. Yep, you'll notice the rows share a stitch together right here. They go in and out of the same holes. This first row comes in here, it shares a hole. The second row comes in here and shares a hole. That way we won't see any of the plastic canvas in our design. Okay, so I started at the bottom. For this, I'm going to go back to the bottom, pull tight. We got 1, 2, 3 holes, go back down in. Pull tight. Now my design has blue coming for another row down here. So 1 row equals 3 holes, and we share a hole with the row above. So 1, 2, 3. This is where I'm going to pop up right here. Pop up. So that's my first hole. 1, 2, 3. Dive back down in. Yep. So these 2 rows are going to be sharing a hole. And my design, I have some more background here. So I'm going to count down 1, 2, 3. Pop up. And 1, 2, 3, dive down. All right, I'm going to keep filling my background. Now I'm kind of starting to run out of yarn and I'm kind of got backed into a corner here. So I wanted to show you how to finish. So you're going to turn it over, and you're just going to find a row of stitches to scooch your needle underneath. You're going to scooch it all the way under and pull. And then we can just cut this little tail off. And then your yarn will be secured underneath all those stitches like that. Then you can go ahead and get another length of yarn. Use the hot dog bun to rethread your needle and keep right on going. Okay. All right, I made another mistake. On my design, I did color in 2 here, but I realized I only have 1 colored in on the other side. So I think I'm going to make this stitch red instead. So it's really easy to correct a mistake. So find the last hole you went through and just poke your needle back up through. And it will undo your stitch. So let's undo these 2 stitches and we go back in the last hole. Let's see, oh, here's the last place I popped up. And go back through that hole, back through this hole. All right, undo. We can try again. All right, again to finish off, I'm gonna flip it over here. I only have 1 little stitch here. I'm not sure that's gonna hold it down, so I'm gonna jump up to this row here and go under some of these stitches to make sure that my thread is really, or my yarn is really held down tight. Okay. And cut. All right, so now I did my background color of the blue. Now I am ready for the red. And since I only have 2 colors, this makes it pretty easy. I can just stitch in the rest of the colors. Okay, I am finished sewing my pixel picture. Looks a lot like the one on my sheet. Hooray! I am now going to finish this up by putting a border around the edge of the plastic canvas so we can't see it anymore. I'm going to cut my piece of yarn. Use my little hot dog bun. Thread it up. All right. So now we're going to go around the whole edge of our piece. Doesn't matter where you start. Just make sure, like here, I kind of poked up through. I went through the middle of the yarn. We don't want to do that. We might have to kind of scooch it over a little. Come right up through the side. All right, and keep your little tail again. And we're gonna, instead of going diving down through the piece and back up like a dolphin, we're actually gonna go around. So I came up here, but I'm gonna flip it over the side, and I'm always gonna come up through the bottom, and we're gonna go around the edge. So I don't wanna go back down, dive down. I wanna go around, back through and up. Oh, we're gonna go through every single holes. Might take a little bit. I'm going to scoot that yarn out of the way. Oh, all right. It ended up on the wrong side here. Here we go. Around. So here's the next hole here. Whoops, I went through the yarn. We don't want that. And around. I'm going to loop it. Always coming up from the back side, looping it around the edge. All right, and we'll keep going all the way around to finish it up. All right, I'm all finished going around. I'm gonna flip it over to the back. And just like we did with the other stitches, you're gonna tuck your needle through the loops of your border stitch. We're just gonna pull it right under there and cut off our tail.